It's Jen. I wanted to show you how to create a Choose Your Adventure using Google Slides. I just came in through my Drive, went to New, and I created a new slide, a Google slide. And so I have some slides already created, so I have started my story and kind of walk you through it. So I have my title page. And then I have my beginning of my story, and do not judge me on my story. It was kind of a quick little story I put together. However, you'll see that I have created the beginning of my story with kind of a cliffhanger here at the end, and then I have two options that students can choose. So once upon a time, there were two wild and crazy teachers named Heidi and Jen. Heidi was a science guru, and Jen enjoyed the fine art of reading and writing. One day they had an idea. And then the students could choose where they want the story to go. So if they choose go on a mule ride in the Grand Canyon, they can click there and hit next slide. And then that takes them to the slide that continues the Grand Canyon story. And if they wanted to go back, I actually put this home button in here so they could go back to their original one. If they wanted to go back and see what happens and go to a concert in Seattle, Washington, they can go back there and click it. So basically you're just linking the slide from one slide to another so that it goes in sequence of the story. So how do we do this? I have some that I've created here that I have not linked yet, and then some here. So if I wanted to add to my story, I can just go up here. I've just created a blank slide. And in order to add more text, I would just insert a text box, and I can click that and draw it. Since it's blue, it's hard to see. I'm actually just going to put a black thing around it so I can see it. But then you can write in your story here. And when it comes to adding your buttons, I went up to insert and I inserted a shape, and you can choose any shape you want to. I chose this beveled one because I thought it was kind of fancy. And then hold it down and draw it. Let go. And then I actually just duplicated that. So I kept the little blue squares around there to show that it is chosen. I can go to edit and duplicate, since I'm going to give two different places for the story to go. In order to add text there, then I can do a right click and then edit text. So I might have go to the store, go to the store, and then right click, edit, go to the restaurant. So that's kind of how you would add your slide, add some more text, so this would continue with the story, and then add your buttons so that your reader would know where to go. Now, how do you link them together? We're going to go back up to this one, and I am going to highlight Run into the Canyon. You'll see right now it does not link to anything. So if I highlight this, I can right click and choose link, and I'm going to want it to go to slide 5. So I'm going to hit link. You'll notice where it says text, it says Run into the Canyon, and then you'll see where it says slides in the presentation, there's an arrow. I can hit that arrow so that it goes down, and I am going to choose slide number 5 that's in this presentation. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to apply it. So then you'll see that when your reader clicks on Run into the Canyon, they will go down to slide 5, which is what I just created. And of course, that slide would continue with the story of the mule running into the canyon. And then I could do it again. Oops, move that one down. So slide 7 would be Sweetly Nudge the Teacher. If I did that, I would highlight, right click, choose link, And then in slides in the presentation, I want it to go to slide number 6. Apply it. So then when your students would choose that, it would go to slide number 6. So it's a great way for students to write stories, also a great way for in social studies, for students to have an event and then they show different outcomes of an event. But be creative. Think about different ways that students could think critically on this and kind of map it out and decide how do they want their Choose Your Adventure to look. And obviously you can add pictures. I added pictures to this first one, but you could add pictures, you can put shapes and change colors, all that fun stuff to make it as exciting as you want it to. But I think it's a really cool way to get students thinking about their writing and thinking about how the story evolves. If a character makes one decision this way, this is what would happen. If that same character made this decision, this is what would happen. So it gets the kids thinking a little deeper, as well as being creative with their thinking.